Alright, so now we're going to dive into how to set state. The first question you might have is, what is state? So state is just that. It's the state of your component. It's a snapshot of all of the configuration of your app. So examples of state could be titles and verbiage that might change or might need to be loaded from an external library or an API. State could also be, is my sidebar open? Is my sidebar closed? What items are in my cart? What page am I on in a multi-page form wizard? Etc., etc. So these are items that are called state. They're things that in JavaScript or jQuery you might have had to hard code, keep track of, watch the DOM for changes, and then manipulate these things in a lot of very heavy, complicated, hard to maintain code. Now we have one place to set all of these variables and configuration, and that's called state. So what we have to do to start off is we have to set initial state. And the way you do that is you just say state equals an object, and for this case we'll just say title equals a string, and the string could be, we'll call it hello there. Alright, so now we have state. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say title now we can get and we can pass to display. Now how would we pass this? We pass this with something called props, and a very simple way to pass it is just to say we're going to pass the whole state object. So if that is the case, then we can go ahead and save here, and then we jump into our display component. So right now state.title, I think we'd actually have to do this dot state. Yes, okay. So we're saying this state. So which state? The state in this current class. So we'll jump into display, and then we have this thing called props. So if we just right here we say, okay, I want to use a curly bracket because I'm passing a prop, and I'm going to say this dot props dot title, and let's just see what that does. Okay, so we might not need this. Let's try that. Oh, unexpected token. Okay, so I messed up there. Do not need that because it is an object, so I can do that instead. Oh, look at that. We're getting our state object right there. Very cool. Now what if we wanted to set multiples? We want to say body is also a long string okay. There was a dog and it was brown, and maybe we want to format this to look a little nicer. Say hello there, how are you? Okay, and we'll just go ahead and do it like that. Let's hit save. We still have the same state object. We're just adding another key value pair. So we don't really have to change anything on that. Now the next thing we can do is we can go ahead and just add a paragraph. And now we can set the entire body to be props dot body. And we'll go ahead and save that. Oh, there we go. So we got our second prop. So this is pretty fun. The next thing we might want to do is we might want to say, let's say, do an EM just to have something more visually interesting, and we'll say post count equals, and then we'll add another property. We'll call it props dot posts count. Okay, so we'll of course jump into our other container component. And this time we'll say post count is a number, and we'll say it is 17. Next, we'll go ahead and save, and we'll see if, oh, post count equals 17. All right, so leaving off where we were, what about if we wanted to simplify this? One of the biggest principles in development is don't repeat yourself, right? That's dry, don't repeat yourself. Well, we are here, we're repeating ourselves 3 times. So what can we do to mitigate that? Well, we have to first start over in our container component. And instead of saying, like we said dot 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 this dot state, right? And that worked quite well. Right? We refresh the page, yep, everything's good. What if we said something different? What if we broke this down a little bit? So we got rid of this, and then since we're doing a lot of properties, let's go ahead and indent here. Go like that, indent. And we'll say, all right, title is going to equal, of course we have to use our curly brackets because we're in the React return, and we'll say this dot state dot title, and we'll just kind of repeat that another 3 times. And then here we'll say body, and we'll say post count. All right, so now we've got that pushing through. What that's basically saying is that title as a prop is going to be passed, which is the exact same thing as this.state.title. So it's saying if I ask for title, what I'm really asking for is this class in state in title as a key. I want the value, so give it to me. Okay? So then we're going to go over to display, and right here we're just getting props, right? It's a single value. What is that? It's a state object. So we can go this dot state, blah, blah, blah. Instead, we're going to make an object because we've got multiple items. We're going to say now we just import title, we just import body, and we just import post count, and we're good to go. Now we can just use these as is. So we can go ahead and select our props, multi-select that, delete it, boom, so much cleaner. Now we just have title, body, and post count. If we go ahead and save both of our components, make sure they're saved, we go back to the live reload, we refresh, hard refresh, everything's perfectly fine. It's still as it was. So that's a quick little tip, you guys, on how to make this a little more scalable and a little cleaner in your display component. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.